We've got very good fights coming your way, and we're going to open things up with the former 154-pound world champion, Julian J. Rock Williams. We go to the tail of the tape. Williams, first fight for Williams in nearly 21 months. First fight since being dethroned by Jason Rosario. He's 5'10", 156. This was fought at over the weight of junior middleweight, so he comes in just under 157, the contracted weight. Vladimir Hernández off a win against Alfredo Angulo is 32. He comes in at 153.5. Let's go to the ring. And Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. As we bring to you our prelude to our big night of action, it is presented by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated. Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, Bomb Squad Promotions, and TGB Promotions. This is a Premier Boxing Champions presentation. Introducing our three judges scoring the action from ringside, we have Lisa Jumpa, John McKay, and David Sutherland. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in a super welterweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with silver trim and fighting out of Stockton, California. He weighed in at 153.5 pounds. With a record of 12 wins, 4 losses, he has 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the tough southpaw contender, introducing Vladimir 24K Hernandez. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing silver trunks with red and black trim. He is fighting out of and representing his home of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 156.5 pounds. His record stands at 27 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw, with 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the current world contender and former unified 154-pound champion of the world, Julian J. Rock Williams. And a referee in charge now to give instructions, Kenny Bayless.
Okay, fellas, trunks are good on both sides. We went over the rules in the dress again. Again, I'm gonna caution you to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say, you must obey. Good luck, touch them up. Good, that's what they.
Julian Williams' first fight, nearly 21 months, and he was on quite a roll. Top of the world, had 2 of the belts at 154 pounds. He was dislodged rudely, Lennox, by Jason Rosario. He has not fought since then. It's been a long time.
No, he's taking a long rest. Sometimes you got to take a rest and come back even better. And I think he needed the rest, and he wanted to sort out a couple of things that was personal, and now he's back at it. All right, I'm excited to see him.
Ready to go. First of 6 fights here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. Brian Kenny, Lennox Lewis, Andre Ward. We've got a cast of thousands here, but round number 1, Vladimir Hernández in the blue trunks, Julian J. Rock Williams in the red and silver. Opening things up in the first round, Vladimir Hernández, again, that's an older Alfredo Angulo that he beat, but this man throws volume. He's a big puncher, throws nonstop.
Yeah, we saw that in the fight with Angulo, just a guy who likes to throw offense. Like you said, his offense is truly his defense. And I asked Julian Williams, how do you slow that down? He said, I'm not Angulo, no disrespect to him, but I understand distance and range, and that's how I cut the punch count down.
Andre, no question, this is a drastic change of styles. Julian Williams is a sharpshooter, a counter puncher. He's more linear. He's not going to allow Hernández just to tee off on him. However, Hernández, he gets in a rhythm, he can do some real damage.
Yeah, he can. You know, what I see first off is they got to watch out for their heads, because there was almost a class of heads there. Julian Williams came down, almost hit him to the head.
Williams with a nice right hand and another counter shot there on the way back through the blinder up ahead of it, and now he lands with a hook, landing with regularity now. Another right hand from Williams.
Still very early, but Julian Williams looking very sharp right now.
Sharp shooting on the way in, 2 uppercut, 2 nice barrage of punches there, and here now Hernández goes to work. Yeah, Andre, I didn't know if this was a great fight for J-Rock to come back to. If I'm with Julian Williams, I almost want a softer guy in there in front of me.
Yeah, but he's at the stage in his career right now where he's got to make a move to make another shot, to take another shot at that title. He can't linger around at the lower echelon type guy, so I think this is the perfect fight for him right now.
That's a good point. Halfway through round number 1. Williams able to slip under a right hand. J-Rock said, hey, look, I got away from my fundamentals in fighting Rosario, and he said there's no doubt he expects to be a world champion once again. He has slipped out of the top 10. He had been in the top 10 for years. Again, had 2 of the belts after he beat Jarrett Hurd. 1 minute to go, round number 1. Hernandez pressing forward. Again, he is very game and can throw a ton of combinations. He and Alfredo Angulo combined for the super middleweight record of over 2,100 punches thrown in this last bout. Nice body shot there, but a right-hand counter from Williams.
Cut over the eye of Hernandez is open up over his right eye.
You can see the blood right now starting to come back. See how bad that is. Kenny Bayless takes a good long look, and the blood has started to trickle down into that eye, so it's over the eye in a very bad spot.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Hernandez is a guy that can take the shots to the head, so Julian Williams needs to start going downstairs right now.
Good work by Hernandez to get Williams into the corner. He's able to land some good scoring shots there, and a good left hand by Hernandez. Good opening first round. Former world champion Julian Williams, but has his hands full with Vladimir Hernandez here in Vegas.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, the T-Mobile Arena, as we gear up for Fury Wilder 3. Back in 2014, it was the Mayweather-Maidana fight. There was some glove controversy. Of course, the guys referenced some controversy about the gloves in the last Wilder Fury fight, and told that actually yesterday the gloves were brought to the arena. They were actually brought from the factory. They were sealed. He tried them on, and Deontay Wilder decided that he did not want to go with the Everlast Power Locks, the 3 pairs that he had. He wanted to switch to the MX gloves. Well, they were not one of the ones that he had sent in, but they were on an approved list, and they were factory sealed, so the commission did allow that to go forward. Now, I should mention that the inspection process is pretty rigorous. They actually cut open the gloves in 6 different locations, the metacarpal, the thumb, the laces. They're really inspected, and then they are sealed. They are put into a duffel bag, and then they are delivered here by the Athletic Commission. So, guys, I'm just curious your thoughts on the last-minute change for Deontay Wilder in terms of the gloves.
Heidi, thank you so much. We'll get into that. Just first, Julian Williams is landing hard right hands off Hernandez's head.
Yes,
and you see the blood already, uppercut as well. We get a small break here. What is the significance, Andre? Start with you. MX gloves, what are they?
Well, listen, good shot right there from Julian Williams. I'm sorry, overhand right, flush on the chin of Hernandez. He took it well, but these punches are starting to hurt Hernandez. He didn't react in the first round. You're starting to see him react and step back a little bit after he gets hit in the second round.
Plus, he's throwing the right punches, throwing right hands, right uppercuts, and coming back with that left hook. Very important.
Yeah, he's sharpshooting another right hand. Hernandez driven back by the red. We'll talk about the gloves in a few moments, but this fight might not be long in front of us.
Hernandez is hurt, but he doesn't know how to take a backward step. So Julian Williams needs to mix up his attack, go downstairs, and then go back upstairs so you can land a clean shot.
And again, Julian Williams was knocked out by Jason Rosario in the 5th round in his own hometown of Philadelphia. Again, that was January of 2020. So this is a significant statement that he looks strong in this fight. Looks good and looks calm.
Yeah, calmness is the key in this fight. He's taking his time. You can see his eyes are open, so he's watching for the shots, and he's watching for the return shots that he needs to punch.
I like the word calm over relaxed. You can't be relaxed in the ring. You have to be calm under fire, and you're right. Julian Williams is calm in these first 2 rounds. He's putting on a great performance.
1 minute to go here in round number 2. Brian Kenny, Lennox Lewis, Andre Ward here ringside. Stephen Edwards back in the corner for Julian Williams. Breadman, who was in the corner for Williams. And then it looked like they had a parting of ways after that knockout loss, but they came to terms and got back together.
They had a reunion. I like to see it. I think they're a great fit, and I was very happy to hear that they're back together.
Hard right hand by Williams again. Nice little combination. Again, he is just picking his shots now on Hernandez. You see the punch stats 31-18. That starts to widen out a bit. And Williams, he's got some power, Lennox, on these shots.
Oh yeah, he's taking his time. He's picking his moments to throw those punches, and they're right on, and they're powerful as well.
Hernandez moves in, hits with a right hand out, throwing that left hand to the body and then the head. Very game fighter, no question.
Julian Williams cannot stay against the ropes and allow him to throw punches and not return the punches.
Final seconds of round number 2. As soon as we are able to take a breath, we'll talk about the gloves. Deontay Wilder, get ready for the heavyweight championship coming up.
Julian Williams has landed some clean shots in these first 2 rounds, just like that overhand right. He was looking behind the left glove. He waited until Hernandez put his right glove out, and he just landed a clean shot right there. And these are the kind of punches that Hernandez is taking well, but they're starting to affect him. You can't take this kind of punch over an extended period of time and think they're not going to affect you.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing about this punch is Hernandez cannot see it. He's keeping his eyes straight forward, and he's not seeing those wide shots by J-Rock coming around.
Good look there at Julian Williams, round number 3 in Las Vegas. Williams scheduled to come back last December, but he got COVID. He was then scheduled to fight in June and had an elbow injury. So he's been on the shelf for a long time, hasn't fought in 21 months, and that's when he lost his title, getting knocked out in the 5th round by Jason Rosario, who has since lost the belts as well. Round number 3 just underway. Quickly, Andre, your thoughts on MX gloves for Deontay Wilder?
Listen, the difference in the gloves in the first couple fights where Deontay had on gloves that had complete foam, and Tyson Fury had on gloves that were part foam and part horsehair. That's why everybody said, well, why does he have an indentation? Why do they look worn? Those are called puncher's gloves, and now Deontay Wilder got himself some puncher's gloves. So all is well in his fair game.
And as we see, Hernandez moving in and eats a hook, but able to land some body shots on Williams. Lennox, that was part, I guess, of the controversy in that there is a certain manipulation you can do, and Tyson Fury with his huge hands is able to move his gloves around a little bit, and that's one of the things Wilder did not like, correct?
Let me tell you, those gloves are small when it comes to heavyweights because, you know, us heavyweights have big hands, and it's hard to really put our whole hand in there. But as far as gloves are concerned, you know, you have many fights that you should be comfortable with a certain glove. You know, mine was Reyes. I was loving Reyes. I always used Reyes. And I'm surprised that Deontay doesn't have a glove that he likes and that he always uses.
Well, he wants the puncher's glove, and he's got it now, but that wasn't on his original list, Andre. That's
which is surprising.
Right?
I don't understand that. Like, I can understand that maybe getting by after the second fight, but once there was the big controversy, that should have been rectified leading into this fight. So I'm really surprised that it was a last-minute deal.
And look, in the culture of boxing, accusing your opponent of having loaded gloves.
That's the worst.
That's a serious accusation.
That's
I mean, it's life and death in there. We've seen that even in recent years, and it goes back decades. People have gone to prison for manipulating the gloves. Final minute here, round number 3.
I think Julian Williams is doing really well by not wasting anything. And when you're dealing with a volume puncher, it's easy to get into their game and have excess movements that tire you out. Julian is not doing that, but he's also not going to the body. Hernandez can take the shots to the head. Yes, they're hurting him, but he's not being detoured. Julian needs to go to the body just like Hernandez is doing against him.
And I agree with you now, Andre, with exactly what you said, that if he gets a win here over Hernandez, and Julian Williams looks like he should be leading on the cards, this is a good win. This is a good comeback win. This is not just against somebody that, all right, what does it really mean? This means something, because you can see, you must bring it. You have to work to beat Vladimir Hernandez.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, J-Rock needs to still be moving on his feet and showing angles. And then as he lets Hernandez miss the fight, you know, he's got to come back with his own punches.
Always throwing combinations, straight right hand. That has been the money shot for Julian Williams. 3 rounds here in Las Vegas. The former champ looks pretty good.
And we have Julian Williams against Vladimir Hernández in the ring right now. I spoke with cutman Ervi Estrada after the first round. When the cut happened, he said, shouldn't be a big deal. His tone changed after the second round. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if the commission steps in at some point because the cut continues to get bigger because Julian Williams continues to land his right hand on that eye.
Bernardo, thank you. You can see him landing as well. He's landing with hooks. I thought, well, he's landing with the right hand. He's landing with everything. And that's like a bullseye now on the head of Vladimir Hernandez. Bernardo, good to be working with you once again. And Hernandez comes out throwing, then lands on his back, just toppled over. But before that, he landed a pretty good left hand.
And sometimes you get this with an orthodox and a southpaw. They get their feet mixed up for some reason, and this is what happens.
By the way, Hernandez, you talk about, you know, a warrior. This guy who mentioned he's put in with Alfredo Angulo is well past his prime, of course, but 2 of his other losses come against Israel Madrimov in his pro debut, and then Suleiman Sissoko, who is now 14-0. Those are quality opponents he has put in, Andre, tough every time.
Yeah, Vladimir Hernandez is a tough cookie, and he's earned that nickname and that right because he's fought tough competition, and we're seeing it here tonight. He's just not taking a backward step. And there's going to be times when you face guys like this, and you got to find an opening. Every fighter has a weakness, and hitting Hernandez to the head is not deterring him. And I'm going to say it again, Julian Williams needs to go to the body. I think I've seen him throw maybe 2 body shots this whole fight.
I tell you what, he's also fighting right in front of him, electing to trade. I don't know if that's a good idea. Power shots, Williams has an advantage, 51-39. Try to get those body shot numbers in there as well. But you see the punches landed and thrown body shots. There we go, 12-9. So Williams not going there an awful lot. But also, standing in front of Hernandez, Lennox, doesn't seem like a good idea, right?
No, he's got to move. He's got to keep Hernandez guessing. He's got to give different angles. And, you know, he's showing me that he doesn't want to really use too much energy right now, but he's allowing Hernandez to really make him work.
That's a good uppercut by Hernandez, too.
So sometimes he's got to hold him and push him back.
And again, you see Williams fights very well going back. He can step back on that right foot and then fire off a right hand. We'll be talking about that through the night with Deontay Wilder. Does not fight well moving backwards, and Fury drove him back consistently in that second fight.
Even though Hernandez is taking a lot of headshots, I like what he's doing. He'll take the headshot and he'll shoot the body shot to Julian Williams' body right where he is, just like that. And those body shots are going to start to add up.
You know, Andre, you can speak to this. I mean, 10 rounds is a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It look like Williams. Oh, Williams is going to beat this guy now. 10 rounds is a long time.
It's forever.
There's a lot of time in there. Vladimir Hernandez can just do his thing, go to work, and hope to win a battle of attrition. As Williams' mouth is open, sucking in that air. So he's gassed a little bit. He's had to put together a pretty big output. I'll tell you where the punches landed. You see right there, CompuBox scoring 57-51. Not a wide margin for Julian Williams. Vladimir Hernandez, he is cut, he's been hurt, he's been rocked, but he is in this fight.
And you're going to see some body punches by Hernandez. They may not be hard, but they're effective, because you could see a little grimace by J-Rock there. And here it comes again.
Hernandez has been consistent with that, and he's not just throwing body shots, he's placing it. He sees the target and he lets it go, and it's landing, and you see the effect that it's having on Julian Williams.
And this is round number 5. This is where Williams was stopped by Jason Rosario in his last fight. It's also where he was knocked out by Janelle Charlo a few years back. So historically, not a good round for Julian Williams.
This round is a good round for Julian Williams, because he just hit him with 3 great punches. You could see the sweat come off of Hernandez's face, and he just can't get out of the way.
I can see the mental battle that Williams is having with himself right now. This is a round that he's been stopped in 2 of his losses, and he's in a tough fight right now, and it's not a foregone conclusion clearly that he's going to win this fight. So he's battling, yes, with Hernandez, but also with himself, saying, listen, tonight is going to be our night. We need to get this win.
Excellent point, Andre, because you can tell too. Right, at a certain point it dawned on Julian Williams, this could be a long night. This guy's not going away. I was able to drive him back early, and I'm not driving him back as much now. Larry Hazard is with us throughout the evening. Larry, how do you have it scored so far?
Well, guys, right now, I got Williams ahead, 40-36. But, you know, there's some interesting commentary. I think that what Andre is saying, I think Williams needs to go a little bit more to the body, you know, because this guy is taking those headshots, and, you know, you chop a tree down, you start from the bottom and go up. But I think he's finding so much success with these headshots that, you know, his game plan, I think he should go down to the body. But right now, I got him pitching the shutout thus far, 40-36, 4 rounds to 0.
Larry, thank you so much. Just pointing out, too, he landed a good body shot, as Larry was mentioning that. But also, you can have a very competitive fight and have it a shutout. Yeah. Just to point out, we'll be doing scoring rounds all throughout the night. Larry Hazard, our Boxing Hall of Famer, unofficial scorer for us here tonight. And you can have it, a lot of times there's controversy after a decision. How can a judge have it that way? You can have a close fight every single round, but still have it 12-zip, 10-zip, or in this case, 4-zip.
Absolutely.
Final 40 seconds. Hernandez keeps pressing on the chest, but Williams moving his head nicely.
And that's what Williams needs to keep doing. He doesn't need to run away from Hernandez, but walk him along the rope. Keep his legs moving, because Hernandez is dangerous when he can plant his feet and rip those body shots inside.
Stop. Look down, bring his eyes down and whip it over.
Final seconds, round number 5. Again, we're scheduled for 10. This is the first of 6 fights here in Las Vegas, culminating with the heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champ, and Deontay Wilder. Williams gets through 5.
Listen, but don't force it to the body. That's why I gave you that whip around shot, so you don't have to bring your head all the way down there. Just whip it and just touch the liver. It don't gotta be perfect, Joel. It don't gotta be perfect. Keep your probe jab out there until that electricity come back and you can start snapping it. You hear me? Keep the probe jab. Everything's good, man. Nice and calm. Line your hands up with his hands.
Guys, what do you think of Stephen Edwards there and what he had to say?
Good instructions.
Great instructions.
Yeah,
I like that too, even changing the eye level, right?
Yeah.
He was yelling that from the corner in the previous round.
Right, but that only works when you're going downstairs. So when you look downstairs, your opponent thinks you're going back there and you can go up top, but that's what Julian Williams is missing, and that's what Redman just told him to do.
And yet, something, Lennox, you said earlier, that you have Williams with a beautiful, tight right hand, just right on the button.
Right on the button.
Right, he has some success like that. He's thinking, I got to go to this guy's body. His head's right there.
Yeah, but he's got to follow it up because he can still hit him to the head with coming around with a left hook after that right hand.
And Hernandez, it appears, is cut over both eyes now. He's got cuts on both sides.
And I'm not saying neglect the headshots. I'm saying just mix it up a little bit.
Hernandez continues to press again. This is a 32-year-old man. And I think we've seen where the cut came from on the other eye, and it's a clash of heads right there. And at that point, the blood began to trickle.
Accidental butt.
Yeah, I did say they got to watch out for each other's heads.
Indeed, Lennox. There it is. As, Hernandez is going to try to get on Williams' chest, no question. And move in again. The first cut, believe, from a punch. Second cut from an accidental clash of heads.
Hernandez has not taken a backward step. He doesn't even look like he needs a second win. He's still on his first win, and it seems to be enough.
He's putting a lot of pressure on J-Rock right now.
It's a slip there.
He's forcing J-Rock to fight. J-Rock has to be smart. He has to be calm in there and pick his time.
Andre, you said, I like the way you put it, like an internal battle with Julian Williams. But that would be anybody facing Hernandez thinking, this guy's not going away.
Yeah, but it's a lot more for J-Rock to lose because he can ill afford to lose another fight, especially by knockout. So he's battling with Hernandez, but he's battling with himself because, yes, fatigue is set in. He's a little frustrated that Hernandez hasn't gone anywhere, and he's searching for answers, and he needs to find them.
Another crisp right hand from Julian Williams. Beautifully done. Combination. Finishing that with a nice uppercut as well. He is hitting Hernandez with everything. And yet, Hernandez comes back, drives him back into the corner.
Williams needs to stay out of the corner and off the ropes. If he's had a full training camp, which he has, he should be able to still be breathing, but move his body enough to stay out of harm's way, get his second win. But see, that's not good. He's getting hit with 2s and 3s right there. Then he drifts back to the corner, to the ropes.
Hernandez letting it fly. Again, the combinations again in his last fight. Broke a super middleweight record against Alfredo Angulo. 2,137 punches thrown. It's a record in your division, Andre. Where are you? Come on. It's a little disappointing. Final seconds. Hernandez keeps on swinging. Back in Las Vegas. All these fights, all 6 of them leading up to the heavyweight championship of the world later tonight on pay-per-view. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Here it's Julian Williams and Vladimir Hernandez, round 7 scheduled for 10. Brian Kenny, Lennox Lewis, and Andre Ward here ringside. Also here with Heidi Androl, Bernardo Osuna, Larry Hazard, and Kate Abdo, and Max Kellerman, and Sean Porter.
The whole squad.
Yes! Got everybody in there, round 7 here. By the way, Edgar Berlanga is coming up next. Andre, you got a steady diet of this kid, but we haven't called one of his fights yet. I'm excited.
Very excited about it. He's going from the knockout king to starting to become a complete professional fighter. He did that in his last fight. He went to distance for the first time, and I want to see how he looks tonight.
People disappointed. Hey, he didn't get a knockout in the first round. He knocked the guy down 4 times. Hit 4 knockdowns in his last fight. It's not failure.
He spoiled the people with the first round knockouts, but he can't get them all the time.
Vladimir Hernandez is really bringing it, a true warrior. Julian Williams, again, is a higher level fighter. He's a former world champion. He's only recently been dethroned. He's 31. He'd like to be a world champion once again. Can't bet against him, but here he has his hands full in his return bout from his first loss.
Yeah, this is a tough fight for him. He hasn't been in the ring for a while, and you can tell he hasn't been in the ring for a while because he does look a little wary. But he's dealing with it right. main thing is that he doesn't get hit. He shouldn't get hit, and he should return the shots. You know, good punch that was good for him was the uppercut and the hook.
If you're Vladimir Hernandez, you keep doing what you're doing because you see that you're getting to Julian Williams. You see the punches are affecting him, and you don't try to hit anything specifically. You just throw punches to the body and to the head because, again, he's starting to get to Julian Williams just a little bit.
Tries with a wild left hand. Williams able to move his head now, avoid that combination, able to slip out from that uppercut as well, but now they do a little infighting, and you would figure that would favor Vladimir Hernandez. So the punches landed right there. It's not a wide discrepancy. Larry Hazard had it 4-zip to open up the fight, and it appears that Williams is winning just about every single round, if not all of them. We've heard about the last two. And you're checking the body shots now. Still a gap for Hernandez, 16-9 with the body shots.
Julian Williams can fight inside. He's a good inside fighter. He's well schooled. He just hasn't applied it here tonight in this fight.
Hernandez whacks one off the belt. Final 30 seconds of round number 7. Again, Edgar Berlanga, 17-0 out of Brooklyn, New York. 16 of his wins by knockout is coming up next. And then we've got all heavyweights tonight on the pay-per-view. And by the way, all good heavyweight fights. Those are going to be exciting.
Part of the fatigue we're seeing from Julian Williams is not just the layoff, fellas. It's also the body shots, the steady body work of Vladimir Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez is going to test you. There's no question. It's a man he's got 4 losses, but high-level competition, and comes off the win of his career against Alfredo Angulo.
Welcome along. We're just going to quickly get the thoughts of Sean Porter on what we're seeing so far tonight in this fight between Williams and Hernandez, Sean.
Yeah, I think that J-Rock is getting a little bit more resistant than he expected or needs right now, coming off of like almost a year-and-a-half layoff. I think that he needs to use his jab more, step around more. You got 3 more rounds left in this fight. You need to get out of this ring safely, get on to the next fight. I do agree with Larry Hazard's score. He is winning the fight. I did give Hernandez 1 or 2 rounds, but I think that right now, Julian has his hand full, and he should finish this fight as long as he steps around, uses his jab.
Which Sean said, more resistance than he needs.
At this point.
I have plenty of days like that, Lennox. more resistance than I need. Also, by the way, FS1, Frank Sanchez, 18-0. 15-0. They're both in their mid-20s. I'm not used to nice things like this, Andre.
We normally don't get great quality fights like this at this stage in fighters' careers.
Right.
We're getting it here tonight.
Usually, especially in this day and age, you'll wait till that becomes ripe or maybe overripe or it never happens. Now they're fighting as they're just starting to peak.
It reminds me of the night of the young heavyweights. This is the night of the young heavyweights. Those are young heavyweights and their future.
Helenius and Kovnatsky was an incredible upset. Helenius knocking out Kovnatsky, who was unbeaten and was looking for a title shot right after that. And then Jared Anderson, 9-0, 9 knockouts, 21 years old. All the heavyweights coming up on the pay-per-view. Here, round number 8, scheduled for 10. And again, J-Rock, Julian Williams in the silver and red, and Vladimir Hernandez in the blue. And Hernandez has never let Williams get away. Let's go back to Larry Hazard. Larry, how do you have it scored right now?
Well, right now I got it for Williams 68-65, but I gave round 6 and 7 to Hernandez. You know, that relentless pressure is beginning to pay off, and I agree with Andre. I still think that Williams needs to go down to the body to slow this guy down. So right now, Hernandez seems to be coming on a little bit.
Interesting. Larry, thank you so much. 6 and 7. By the way, you see the highlighted round, 6th round. That's Larry pointing out that is a close round. A judge could reasonably have it the other way. You could swing it either way. Because not every round is so resolute. You learn that in boxing, but that's interesting in that Hernandez has taken the last 2 rounds, according to Larry Hazard. By the way, neither fighter has landed more than 2 more punches than the other in each of the last 5 rounds. So if you're doing it by the work rate and the CompuBox stats, they are very close.
Tape.
I think it's just tape on the gloves. You can see the blood coming down. I wonder too if they're going to take a look at him, maybe have the doctor come over. But it's bad, obviously, Andre. But it doesn't look like you got to stop this fight yet, or are we getting close?
Keep going. No, I think we're in the 8th round, mid-8th round. I think the cut is okay. I'm surprised they're not at least the doctor's not at least taking a peek at him to wipe it off to see. But they don't seem to be concerned. I think he's okay.
Final minute now of round number 8. It's been hard work. Bernardo Osuna was in the corner. Bernardo, what did you hear?
Well, I've been speaking with Dr. Raimundo Leon, and he told me, look, the cutman's doing a great job because he goes out there and he doesn't bleed until he gets hit on it, and that's key for any situation. If they can't stop the bleeding, that's when the doctor will step in and the referee will have him come up and take a look. So he lauded the work of Hervey Estrada in this case.
Bernardo, good job. I saw Bernardo kind of like hovering nearby, kind of like Vladimir Hernández. It was like in people's chest. I knew Bernardo had something over there. Good job, because the bleeding doesn't look like, wow, that's bad. He can't see. He is blinking. Clearly, it's an impediment, but not quite enough to stop this fight.
I think J-Rock should do a lot more rolling and coming back like he was doing in the last round because he was very successful with that.
Look at this, Hernandez going to work now, even though Julian Williams, he ate that one, was able to slip most of those shots, but a bunch of them landing. Hernandez still very much in this fight. If you want excitement, just wait for this kid. Edgar Berlanga out of Brooklyn, 17-0. 16 of his wins by knockout, had 16 knockouts in the first round. An exciting fighter. Coming out of Brooklyn, Marcelo Coceres, though, is a guy who is competitive with B.J. Saunders, who had one of the belts at 168. So Coceres could give some real resistance, Andre, in that next fight.
Yeah, I don't think he's a guy that's going to topple over in the first round. I mean, we've said that about several of Berlanga's opponents, and they did, so we'll see. But I think he's going to give young Berlanga a test tonight.
By the way, you saw briefly there, punches landed. It was even for a moment, and I thought that was going to get wider and wider. Hernandez, though, has such a strong engine. He showed that against Angulo. He does not tire. Lennox, he does not step back, and he's still landing shots.
Yeah, I mean, J-Rock has to show composure right now. Look, he's looking a bit, looking a bit weak in there. Looking a bit weak in there, and he needs to keep his composure and his hands up and not get caught with no silly shots.
More uppercuts landing for Hernandez as he's got J-Rock up against the ropes now, and he goes to work. This is his chance.
It's not the head shots, fellas. It's the body shots that Hernandez is landing like that. That's slowing J-Rock up and taking all his energy on top of the layoff. If I'm Vladimir Hernandez, keep doing what you're doing. And if you're Julian Williams, you have to find a way to answer what's happening to you if you want a future in this sport.
He is moving Williams around the ring right now. And Andre, that was well put in that he's taking his energy. Even on some of the shots he's blocking. He wasn't blocking those, but even on the ones he's blocking, it hurt to take the air out of Williams.
And I'm just not sure why that wasn't a reminder for him to go down to the body, because believe it or not, fighters forget sometimes to go to the body, but when you're being hit to the body, that's a reminder to get going.
Hernandez is outlanding Williams by a wide margin now in this round. Lennox, we have not seen that to date.
No, he's really come on strong. And I figured he would come on strong in the later rounds because he's just a ball of energy.
Hernandez keeps coming. Williams trying to dig in and throw some nice shots off the ropes.
I don't know if I've seen Vladimir Hernandez take a deep breath in this fight yet.
Uppercut lands from Hernandez again.
He's got some engine, Hernandez.
No question. Again, we saw that against Angulo, and they were throwing so many shots at each other. But again, this is Angulo, who was slow to begin with, became much slower. He's one of the tougher guys in the sport that we've seen over the last generation. No question, but at this point in his career, that was August of 2020. You could say, hey, that's a nice win for Hernandez, but that's not the Angulo we saw when he was a younger man. And yet, he's up against world-class competition again here, a guy closer to his prime, only one fight removed from being a world champion, and he's bringing this fight a little closer. Hernandez lands again. Vladimir Hernandez outlanding Julian Williams 22-8 in this round. Coming on strong. We are not done yet as we open things up here tonight in Las Vegas.
You gotta be an animal right now, dog. Hey, when he gets greedy, give me a deep breath. Give me a deep breath. Don't let your feet fall. Don't let your feet fall up under you. You understand what I'm saying? Your feet too wide and you're falling all over the place. Stay down in your stance, dog, and get nasty and mean with this kid. Head and body and
Well, Breadman did not like the body language that Julian Williams was showing in there, meaning he looked a little gassed. He looked like he was getting beaten down.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I said where his composure was failing him. It looked bad.
10th and final round. Julian Williams, former world champion in the red and silver, Vladimir Hernández in the blue, and Vladimir Hernández getting closer in this fight. In the punches landed over the last 4 rounds, he has an advantage over Williams, 59 to 33. And again, you know, all punches are not created equally when they're counting them, but Vladimir Hernández is now throwing the feather duster out there, Andre. He's loading up.
Yeah, he's trying to get this thing over with, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's got Williams reeling. Williams' legs is gone. You see right here, he just slipped. But his legs are not what they're supposed to be.
They're not steady.
Even if you're fatigued, you still want to have your legs under you. Yeah. Williams doesn't have that. Hernandez knows it, and he's trying to close the show.
Yeah, it'll be a nice, sharp left hand there by Hernandez. It could be a matter of, does Williams have enough rounds in the bank?
And Williams is trying to stay close to him so he doesn't get hit too much. You know, he doesn't want to move around because he doesn't have that energy to move around.
He's got 2 things going on, and I'm talking Williams, in his mind right now. A, he's trying to survive, and he's also trying to have some output to try to win the round.
He came out, Andre, firing as if, all right, I'm going to take control of this round, and Hernandez just did not allow that to happen.
His body's betraying him right now. His body is fatigued from the layoff and from the body shots and the pressure, the constant pressure from Hernandez. His mind is saying go, but his body is saying no.
Hernandez is firing. You can hear him exult as he throws those shots as well. Everything he has, trying to paw with the jab and then load up with that left hand, but Williams able to slip it. Final half of this last round.
And Williams is doing a smart thing too. He's throwing his punch and he's falling in and making sure Hernandez doesn't get room to throw punches back.
Again, Larry Hazard had given at least 2 rounds through 8 to Hernandez, so not enough as of yet. But again, if you have a judge maybe swing one of those early rounds, it's possible that you could get into the territory where Hernandez has a chance on the cards. Second half of the fight, he's certainly gotten the better of it.
It's a minute left in this round, fellas, and when you're in the shape that Williams is in, that minute seems like 10 minutes.
And there's Larry Hazard's unofficial scorecard there. So, no, he's got a comfortable lead now for Julian Williams, but he didn't quite make it a sweep in the last bunch of rounds. But again, the judges could have it obviously differently. Final 30 seconds coming up.
See that punch right there that got blocked by Hernandez, and then he just stabs Williams with 2 body shots. It's just debilitating when you're in the shape that Williams is in right now.
Williams trying to make a good front of it, trying to stay up from his, as his corner told him to. Hernandez gets him into the corner and landing some hard shots. Final 12 seconds.
Williams is tough too, man, because he's taking some punishment these last few rounds, and he hasn't backed down. He's trying to finish this on his feet.
Trying to tie him up as well here, but here comes Hernandez, winging to the final seconds, winging to the final bell. 10 hard rounds. The return of a champion. It was not easy. Look at Hernandez. Hernandez loves the combat. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he boxed this, especially the last rounds, really good. This is what you have to do when you're fighting the fight and the guy wins the first couple of rounds. You got to bring it back in the last round. You got to work hard and try and win this fight, and that's what he was trying to do.
He fought his tail off. He just brought it. Williams looked like he had a bunch of those early rounds in the bank. Perhaps that's more than enough. You get the feeling it will be, but you don't know. Again, look at hard shots Williams landed and outlanded early going, but in the final punch stats, it was Vladimir Hernández who would not stop. Exciting fight, hard fight, first of 6 tonight here in Las Vegas. We'll have the decision when we return. We opened up here in Las Vegas with a nice little war. Julian Williams, former world champion, against Vladimir Hernández. I know the stats aren't everything, but in the last 2 rounds, Vladimir Hernández outlanded Julian Williams 41-17. He outlanded him by 25 punches overall in the fight. And in body shots, Andre Lennox, we're talking about that, body shots 31-11 in favor of that warrior right there.
Yeah, I mean, bro, he was showing some good punches, good body punches. With Julian Williams, you know, the mental pressure got to him, because when you're hitting somebody and he doesn't go anywhere, boy, that's got to make you tired. You're saying, wow, I hit this guy with everything and the kitchen sink, and he's not doing anything.
You know, the pressure and the body punching of Vladimir Hernández was the story of this fight.
Not a lot of jabs landed, huh? 5-2? Really? That was not the point of emphasis. Could be interesting on the cards. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Lisa Jampa scores the bout 96-94 in favor of Julian Williams. John McKay sees it 96-94 in favor of Vladimir Hernández. And Judge David Sutherland scores the action 97-93 in favor of the winner, Vladimir 24.
Wow.
Hernandez.
Wow. Even though we've been talking this for the last few rounds, I'm a bit surprised. I didn't know Hernandez could get that decision.
Me neither, but I'm telling you, he put in a lot of work. He was just non-stop